Well, I'm a lifelong Republican.
I'm a former never Trumper.
Joe Biden had us at hello.
I'm voting for Donald J. Trump.
In this year's presidential election, Latinos are a growing electorate in many key battleground states, and both candidates are campaigning hard for their votes.
I've achieved more for Hispanic Americans in 47 months than Joe Biden has achieved in 47 years.
More than any other time, the Hispanic community, Latino community holds in their palm of the hand the destiny of this country.
We don't really have a voter turnout problem, we have a voter registration problem. Nearly half of the Latinos that are eligible to vote are not even registered to vote. I am Rafael Collazo. I'm the Director of Political Affairs for the Unidos U.S. Action Fund. Latinos are amongst the least likely to be reached out to by political campaigns. So it's sort of like setting us up for a failure in a sense, because traditionally campaigns focus on quote unquote super voters, voters that vote on a consistent basis. But the reason they vote on a consistent basis is that campaigns, parties, and advocacy organizations reach out to them more.
For decades, Latino voter participation has trailed behind other non-white racial minority groups. And now, for the first time ever, Latinos outnumber African Americans among eligible voters.
In Pennsylvania, we could have a Latino electorate statewide that goes over double digits. You know, a generation ago, the Latino electorate may have been 1 or 2% of the total voter turnout. So as our community grows and our electorate grows, so does our influence.
The wide-ranging Hispanic and Latino diaspora are far from single-issue voters. According to Pew, they consider economy, healthcare, and COVID-19 as top issues in this year's election.
As a Republican, I never thought that I'd be at a time where I'd be, for the first time in my life, voting for a Democrat for president. But even more so, I never thought I would be so actively campaigning for the Democratic candidate. Donald Trump has betrayed everything that I valued as a Republican. Fiscal discipline, being a leader in the world in international relations, caring about the weakest citizens in a way that doesn't make government bigger, but empowers individuals. He's run the country the way he's run his bankrupt businesses.
Donald J. Trump has earned my vote, and he has earned 4 more years.
Democrats are offering a radical vision of America, one that does not compute, does not mesh with Latinos. I didn't vote for Donald J. Trump in 2016. I wrote in Jesus Christ. I ran a Twitter account, a Facebook account, and an Instagram account called Christians Against Trump. This man, who I did not expect would be the greatest advocate for the unborn. This man really gives a hoot about blacks and brown folks, and the unemployment numbers in our community are the lowest in the history of the Department of Labor's record keeping in Washington, D.C.
Biden may be leading in the polls 68 to 25% amongst Hispanic voters nationally, but Trump's improved support from 2016 is notable. That's why grassroots organizations have sprung up to harness the voting power within this community.
My name is Daniela Ferreira, and I'm a co-founder of Cubanos con Biden. So, La Gran Caravana de Todos con Biden was our last caravan for Hispanic Heritage Month. We had over 2,000 vehicles. Every single Latino diaspora was represented. We had flags from every country. And it's really just showing the support, the incredible enthusiasm and support that exists within the Latino community for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Democrats up and down the ticket. And as we know, the state of Florida is a 1% state. Latinos will absolutely make the difference in this election cycle, particularly Latinos in Miami-Dade County.
So far, the candidates have spent $16 million on Spanish-language television ads in Arizona, Texas, Nevada, and Florida, with Biden outspending Trump 2-1.
In the midst of COVID, in the midst of everything else that's impacting Latinos' lives, the Biden campaign needs to be more aggressive around messaging those issues to the Latino community. And part of the challenge for the Biden campaign, and even organizations like ours, is that the Trump campaign and a lot of other conservative media forces are providing a lot of misinformation in Spanish and targeted specifically to the Latino community to confuse them.
Ha llamado a 911. Debido al desfinanciamiento de la policía, nadie está disponible. Para reportar una violación, presione 1.
Donald Trump very smartly was up on TV in Florida and in Arizona in Spanish language advertising 3 weeks before Joe Biden, and that gave him a 3-week head start. It's exactly why I created Nuestro PAC, to try to make up for that. My name is Chuck Rocha. I'm the president of Solidarity Strategies, and I'm also the president of Nuestro PAC. I was honored to be part of the most historic Latino turnout operation in the history of American politics. Bernie Sanders' campaign pulled that off in the 2020 primary election. We started talking to Latinos 6 and 7 months in advance through bilingual communications, even in states like Iowa, is that we dominated that vote because we were the only ones talking to them. So we know how to do this. We just did it in real time 5 months ago. Now we're going to do it again for Joe Biden.
In 2016, 12.65 million Latino voters showed up to the polls. This year, a record 32 million Latinos are projected to be eligible to vote, and voter participation rates are already 2.5 times higher than in 2016, due to early and absentee voting.
Latinos will be the key to 270 delegates, there's no question about that. But there needs to be more done by the Biden campaign, the party, to get people this information.
When we leave this election, they will know that our community is worth investing in. And when you invest in our community, we will show up, because we're going to be the largest non-white sector of this electorate. And so you're going to have to understand how to deal with our community, spend money on our community, and get them out to vote.